And thank you, SGX, for having me. Very excited to be here. And first and foremost, I want to apologize to everybody. I had a really nice presentation planned, but forgot it on my desk in Florida, so kind of just threw something together on the plane ride here. But nonetheless, we're going to have a good time. And if anybody has any questions, I'm open and happy to have a conversation afterwards. So I want to start off by talking about a trip to the moon. In 1902, there was this illusionist living in Paris named Georges Méliès. These days, he's known as one of the first ever filmmakers. He experimented a lot with techniques, things like forced perspective, making things look bigger or smaller than they actually are to the camera, pyrotechnics, which are basically just controlled explosives, and compositing, cutting strips of film to basically edit videos together. And all of these techniques came together beautifully in the first ever science fiction movie, A Trip to the Moon. A Trip to the Moon is about a council of scientists who embark on a journey to the moon. They build a rocket, launch themselves to the moon on a catapult, land on the moon, do a little EVA, and then come back to Earth and splash down in a capsule. Now, keep in mind, this is 1902, a very long time ago, well before space exploration, space travel, rockets were even a thing. In fact, there wasn't even a single plane in the sky at the time. And so the reason I bring this up is Oh, you know what? I might have forgotten to save it. Sorry. What was that? Hold on. I have another plan. Let me see. Let's see if this guy. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, aren't you supposed to be at the office right now?
Wait, this isn't the office? I must have made a wrong turn. Anyways, what's up?
Okay, listen, I'm literally here giving my speech right now, and I forgot my presentation on my desk. Could you grab it for me?
Wait, you're at that nerd convention, right?
No, this is SGX. There are a lot of young, smart, forward-thinking people here, Daniel.
Okay, so why are you there?
Just get it done, Daniel. I'm going to try and stall as much as I can, but hurry up. Thank you. All right. Well, I guess we'll just continue where I left off. And what I want to talk to you all about today is why we want to make a feature film on the surface of the moon. We, being my team at Flying Ostrich Media, it's an aerospace company, a film production company in Jacksonville, Florida, but we serve the aerospace industry. And we want to take this concept from about 120 years ago and do it for real. An actual movie about an actual trip to the moon. Something Georges Méliès would have never even imagined possible in 1902. Now, before we get started, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Giat. I'm a filmmaker, and my day-to-day life consists of making commercials, directing live productions, and the occasional short film for aerospace and tech companies. I'm also a pilot. I've been a pilot my entire adult life. I started flying planes with my dad when I was 6 years old. And I'm currently working on a really exciting project called Passage with about 30 other science communicators from around the world. And we are flying throughout the Caribbean and South America, bringing school supplies to over 10,000 kids living in underserved communities. And the entire project, Passage, is going to be a documentary series. And I'm very excited for that to happen.
Lee, do you want a slushie?
A slushie? No. Why are you getting a slushie right now? Is he really getting a slushie? He's really getting a slushie right now. Okay. Well, essentially, what I'm trying to say is that bringing STEM and the arts together is such an amazing thing, and I'm very privileged to be a part of many different communities in both of these fields. And I hope that something comes out of it by the end of this talk. And so whenever Daniel gets here, where is he right now? Is that the back entrance? Oh, there he is. Thank you. I don't want to. Why? I said no slushie. Why'd you get a slushie? You already drank half of it?
I mean, I came here from
You plug this in?
I got thirsty a little bit.
I'm kidding. All right. Here, I can do it. There we go. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, there we go. All right, ready to go. So let's see where we left off. So about me, I make videos for space people. That's cool. That's our airplane, The Spirit of Science, and some great books written by John Reed specifically for this project. So that's exciting. Okay, here we go. So my first question for everybody here today is, how many of you have thought to yourself at some point, wow, there are just a lot of sequels coming out in theaters these days, just by a show of hands? Okay, that's almost all of you. And you are completely right in thinking so, because in 2015, there was a study done by the Journal of Cultural Economics where they took 207 prequels, sequels, adaptations, and remakes, and they wanted to see if these brand extension films were more profitable than original releases. And what they found out is that, in fact, they weren't. But the reason they're more popular is because they reduce the financial risk on part of the filmmaker. If you know The Avengers, if you know Fast and Furious, you're going to go see it in theaters. And I don't know about you, but the space industry loves to take financial risks. Here on Earth, anything you can possibly imagine can be created using visual effects. And chances are, it's already been done before. By bringing the film industry to space, and even further, to the moon, we're able to have filmmakers completely rethink the creative process, the storytelling process. Will we have to engineer new equipment? How would natural light work on a totally different celestial body? And who would be liable if, let's say, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fell into a crater? I guess that would make him a moon rock. I'm sorry, I had to. Bottom line, it's new and it's unknown, and the film industry is in a desperate need of a challenge, something to reignite the creative process. But I know a lot of us would hate to see another sequel falling flat in theaters, and so that's why I think this is important. Speaking of flat, how many of you believe the Earth is flat? Okay, oh, not everybody. Yeah, no, ridiculous. I mean, come on, right? I mean, we all know the Earth is a... Well, this is awkward. Well, the reason I bring this up is because I think that making a movie on the moon would help us put this flat Earth conspiracy behind us once and for all. And how would I know this? Well, I may or may not have gone undercover at the 2019 Flat Earth International Conference and brought a camera with me. And so, if you're wondering what that was like, here is what that was like. There's a lot of technology now that relies on things being in space. So how does that work?
There's satellites that are falling to the ground all the time, but they're not really satellites. You see, they're balloons.
They have no proof of curvature. They say that, that the boats curve over, the clipper ships curve over the edge. Who's actually went to the ocean to observe those things?
They did it with National Geographic in a Flat Earth documentary.
Yeah, but I would have to review exactly that. I remember seeing that documentary, but
this is the Bible of science. That's what peer review is. It's the Bible, the holy word of science. And this is the only truth and nothing but the truth, so help me science.
And even if you don't want to say that you're a flat earther, just saying, I understand it's not a ball is a really big step.
What?
Yeah, so you can imagine how great of a resume builder that was. But yeah, to my point, why would making a movie on the moon stop these pancake planet people once and for all? Well, I may or may not have also interviewed the head of the Flat Earth International Conference and the unofficial king of the entire Flat Earth movement, Robbie Davidson. Here's what he had to say.
We were in the press conference today. We all unanimously agreed if they put a HD, a GoPro, whatever the hell they want to put on there, and they leave it continual, because you'll see every rocket launch, it starts and it cuts, and then it goes into like CGI. Just do it continual. Do it continual. And furthermore, if you get something, if you go right up like to the moon, you place something on the moon that can record, great. This thing's over.
if you put something on the moon that can record, this thing's over. Easy. Now, if that's not evidence, I don't know what is. By the way, this guy is like ridiculously tall. Nice guy, kind of intimidating, but you know, I guess we just don't agree on everything. And the reason that I think this will help solve this conspiracy theory, kind of get rid of it once and for all, is because space is not really open. Not a lot of sources are really diving in and exploring and educating and allowing public access to all of these things. I'm not saying send the flat earthers to space. I'm saying by combining more industries like the arts, like film, we're able to expose more people to say, hey, this is a real thing. The moon landing was real. Hey, we shot a whole movie on the moon. It would just slowly help us bring these numbers down for those who fell down a little too far down the wormhole, if you will. Now, I also... This guy.
Hey, Liam at Starbucks, you want anything?
Yeah, do they have any desserts, actually? Sorry, guys, one second.
They have croissants, cake pops, donuts, coffee cakes.
I'll do a donut. That sounds good.
Okay, I'll get you a donut.
All right. Sorry, I get hungry. Now, finally, I want to bring up why making a movie on the moon would help us accelerate the next great discovery. And what I mean by that is helping us answer life's greatest questions, the who, what, when, where, whys, and hows of our very existence. And in 2019, on April 10th, there was this beautiful moment where a network of radio observatories released the first ever picture of a black hole, the Event Horizon Telescope. This was the image right here. And quite frankly, life imitates art. And so what if I told you that we predicted what this image was going to look like 5 years earlier, 5 years before it was taken, in a movie? No, sorry, this movie, Interstellar, one of my favorite science fiction productions in the way that it uses the power of digital cinema to accurately depict complex physics and a lot of other concepts in astrophysics for basically anybody. And this is Paul Franklin on the left there. He is the head of the visual effects department. The guy on the right is Kip Thorne, his trusty intern, who also just happens to be one of the world's most renowned physicists, famous for his work on LIGO and gravitational waves. And one of their major goals for the film was to accurately depict what a black hole would look like on camera. And so after months and months of sifting through papers and data, they developed this software called the I forgot what it's called. But it's the essentially a gravitational renderer that uses AI and raw data to depict what a black hole would look like. And they used this software and a lot of tweaking, basically, figuring out what the optics would do. You see there, that's the accretion disk of the black hole, and it looks completely different and distorts a little bit depending on what angle you're looking at a black hole from. And after a lot of money and a lot of time, this is the final render that they came up with. And here it is right next to that famous photo of M87. And so with that said, I like to think of film as the perfect medium for ideas. Interstellar took an Einsteinian concept that was previously explained solely in mathematics and created this beautiful, tangible, almost tactile thing for anybody to watch and to understand as well, and to visualize. Whenever we think of things in the aerospace industry, we tend to ask a lot of questions, a lot of hows. How are we going to pay for this? How is this going to work? And Interstellar did something so incredible that they actually had a Hollywood blockbuster publish a paper in the Journal of Classical and Quantum Gravity. And if that's not cool, then I don't know what is. But whenever we're approached with ideas, especially in this field, if you have an idea of your own, I think the most fundamental question is why? Why dock an Apollo capsule with a Russian Soyuz? Why fly a helicopter on Mars? Why create a global network of internet satellites? Why launch 4 civilians into space? Why make a movie on the moon? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.